Hey everybody, it's Jen, an Oasis moment. I wanted to talk today about shadow comforts. This is an idea that we revisit here, like many things. We come back to them, we come back to them because they're part of our lives and we need to check in with them, we need to calibrate them, we need to begin again. And so shadow comforts are things that we do in the name of comfort, self-nurturing, restoration, our theme this month, that don't actually do that. They make us feel worse. They make us feel at best just a little numb. And at worst, they can really keep going and deepen a spiral of procrastination, of shame, even of self-loathing that becomes a self-perpetuating story. I did that thing, had the second glass of wine, watched Netflix too long, didn't get to bed, got sucked into the news, name yours, those are some of mine. And look, that's proof that I'm not worthy of more aliveness, more health, more creativity, more success, more connection, whatever that more is. Right? Have you ever been there? I hope not. I have. And what I'm curious about always is what are the things that we can each find, because they're going to be fairly unique to each of us with some things in common that allow us to break that trance, whether it's a deep spiral of procrastination, self-loathing, shame, or whether it's just that I'm settling for things that don't actually recharge me, that don't actually give me pleasure. I'm in a rut, and the rut's not bad. It's not draining me or making me ill, but it's not the most that I want. And I am not one of those people who believe that we need every day of our lives to be the most and the best. I think that's too much pressure. It's not how we're built as humans. That's kind of why I don't love that phrase, best life. It sometimes feels like too much pressure to me. Like, well, today maybe I don't want a best life day. Today I just want a comfy day, or I want an easy day, or I need a day off, right? So I'm not saying that we don't need those kinds of days and those kinds of things in our life. But what I'm saying is that we keep checking in, which is what we do here so well in these very gentle micro ways to go, how is that shadow comfort? How is it? Is it habitual? Is it draining? Do I need to, do I need something different? Or is it really getting into that spiral? So let me address the spiral first. The spiral is going to continue if you try to change it out of self-judgment or self-improvement, period. The only way out is, I'm trying to think of like a metaphor. I always use this metaphor, sorry, but if you get caught in a whirlpool, a hole, it's called, when you're in a river, like, whitewater rafting or canoeing, and you try to go up, it won't pop you out. You have to actually go down. That doesn't work as a metaphor here at all, because I don't want you to go down into self-loathing, but I don't want you to fight it. What I want you to do if you find yourself in these spirals is, first of all, acknowledge it to yourself that you're doing your best right now, given whatever's going on in your life, and most of us have a shit ton of things going on in our life that are hard, to take care of yourself. You need to recognize that when you're in the shadow comforts, you're not doing it because you are in any way wrong or inferior or screwing up. That's just, you are coping the best you know how. And for whatever reason of the things that you've experienced in your life, what's going on in your life in the past or present, these behaviors these choices feel like the best choice. So what we need to do is really say, gosh, I am doing the best I know how to take care of myself. Right? Is it feeling satisfying? Like, really check in with yourself. Don't just stay at that mental level. Am I feeling satisfied by this? And right then, you're probably going to go, nah, this isn't working for me, or I want something more. And it's the same question we can ask with our sort of habitual patterns that are starting to feel not as fulfilling. Is this satisfying? Right away, you're going to say no. And then there's a part of you that's going to freak out and say, but this is all there is. This is all I deserve. I can't change. It's too scary. That moment, and you probably feel it in your body, is the moment that I want you to stop and put a hand on your heart or give yourself a hug and tell yourself there is always more, and I am allowed to have it. I don't need to know what it is or how I will get it, but there is always more, and I am allowed to have it. And then hang out there, relaxing your body, checking it out. Is your environment safe? Are you safe here? Right? And then what I want you to do after a few breaths, like really try to stay there with the feelings, notice that you're safe, notice that you're grounded, is then what I want you to do is bring up a memory of a time that you felt really nurtured, really taken care of by someone else. Could be any time in your history, by yourself, by a situation, by a place, by nature, by music. It doesn't have to be a specific, amazing, peak moment. Anything that comes to you, in just a general sense of nurturing, being cared for, caring for yourself. And take a couple of breaths and really turn up the feeling of that. Really turn up the feeling. So that's what I want you to try practicing. If shadow comforts feel very crunchy or loud or tight or spirally, or if you've been really trying to push yourself out of choices that aren't feeling nurturing, the pushing will not work. The pushing will send you more towards the things that soothe you. The pushing will not, trying to change yourself or judging yourself will only send you back to shadow comforts. It just won't work. No matter what part of you and what voices in your head say you just need to try harder and be more disciplined, it won't work. But what will work is this slowing down, noticing this is how I'm coping. Wow, I'm so glad I'm trying to take care of myself, right? Good job. Is this satisfying? Notice that there's no moral judgment in those questions. Is this satisfying? Probably you're going to hear no, but you might hear that some parts of it are, which are great, interesting information. And then, it is safe for me to want more. There is more. There is always more. And sure, there's going to be voices and parts of you like, no, there's not. And you remember that time and you're a just let them be. Keep breathing, noticing you're safe, feeling yourself grounded here. All of this only takes a few seconds, by the way. It's much longer to describe it. And then you will take that moment to feel into good feelings of being nurtured, nurturing yourself. Just turn up the feelings. It doesn't have to be visual. It doesn't have to be, again, a peak moment. Part of what keeps us from bothering, part of what keeps us from having the lives we want is thinking that it is some kind of continual, perfect, achieved state that we get to. Don't do that around shadow comforts. Have a sense of playfulness, of curiosity, of compassion around them. Notice your relationship with them. When do you slip into them? When do they call more? Is it times of the year? Is it around certain people? Notice how they've been coming up during the pandemic. Don't try to fix them or get rid of them. It just doesn't work. All right. Bye.